What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the top 5 biggest sports washing projects in football currently. Now, what is sports washing? Well, to put it, this is when an individual or a group of people uses sports to improve its reputation and public image. So they are using the beauty of sports to wash themselves of their dirt. In 1934, the World Cup was held in Italy. Now, this was during when Italy was run by the evil fascist Mussolini, and he campaigned to host the World Cup to improve the image of Italy. Also, the 1936 Olympics, notoriously held in Nazi Germany with Hitler in attendance. Sports washing is a distraction tool, a vessel for committing atrocities, crimes, by using sports to say, oh, don't look at me and my crimes, look at the shiny thing called sports that I'm associated with.
Ich verkünde die Spiele von Berlin zur Feier der 11. Olympiade.
Now, the worrying trend now is that sports washing is taking over everywhere in football. It's taking over sports entities, clubs, and they're being wholly owned by sports washing projects. Now, this has to be taken seriously by all fans because one day it's really going to ruin the game for many reasons that I could address in another video. But today we're just going to be observing who to me are the top 5 biggest sports washing projects the fans may turn a blind eye to, but if you love football and what it stands for, you should care. Coming in at number 5, we've got the Qatar World Cup 2022. Yes, kicking it off, it is this disgraceful World Cup being hosted in Qatar, a country that barely cares about football, and it's going to be hosted in winter, mid-season. FIFA can say stuff like they're trying to take football all around the world, sure, but if you do the research, you see how many FIFA officials were convicted of corruption and payments by Qatar for hosting the World Cup. So it's fine taking the World Cup to different countries, but when it's done through bribery, of course it's wrong. I'm not against having the World Cup in different places, but have it in India, Australia, another African country. But Qatar, a small Gulf state, clearly bought the World Cup, and that's why it's just a massive sports washing project to improve the image of Qatar. It's a small desert state with terrible human rights, workers' rights, but they just have money to burn. But that comes in at number 5 in my biggest sports washing project. Coming in at number 4, it is Manchester City. Now, they are owned by the very wealthy city of Abu Dhabi. That's also part of the United Arab Emirates. The Abu Dhabi guys are clearly very smart. They invested 100 million to improve the Man City facilities. They also invested around 200 million in the wider Manchester community to build houses and infrastructure. A brilliant move because the whole Manchester will love you. You get good press. The country will love you because you're showing love for the community. But it doesn't distract from the fact that this is a massive sports washing project. Man City is beautifully executed. They've got the whole, oh look, I'm improving the community, I'm making smart investments, I'm buying shrewd investment in players, but don't look at where the money came from. Yes, they've hired the best manager, they've recruited the best players, but let's not forget also when Man City were nearly done by UEFA and got banned from Champions League for cooking their accounting books. They're desperate to become a big club, but they're not doing it naturally. They're doing it through fabrication and paying sponsors. Coming in at number 3, it is the OG of sports washing projects and ownership. Yes, it is Chelsea Football Club, who was owned by Roman Abramovich for 19 years. A beautiful 19 years of sports washing by one of Russia's biggest oligarchs, who built his wealth through corruption and stealing the Russian people's money back in the 90s. He illegally made billions by the help of current dictator Vladimir Putin. Abramovich decided to use Chelsea to improve his image of oligarchs and the corruption that happened in Russia during the 90s. When Roman took over Chelsea Football Club, he was young, he was cool, he attended the games, he invested in the club without a care. He borrowed Chelsea 1.5 billion of his own money to spend on players. What's crazy is Chelsea actually never made a profit for 19 years. Abramovich invested all that money back into players, whichever revenue he made it. Unlike other big clubs like Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, making a profit was imperative to reinvesting in the club. But Chelsea fans knew whether they had success on the field or not, they knew their club owner was going to invest in them in the summer to spend on players. A beautiful, beautiful luxury. But that can only happen when a sports washing project is going on. Of course, in the 2022 invasion by Russia of Ukraine, the sports ownership of Chelsea went up in flames and really brought into light how bad sports washing has taken over football. Coming in at number 2, I've got PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, who are actually owned by a whole country, Qatar. My number 5 on the list, who's hosting the World Cup. They also own a football club and they love a little sports washing, don't they, Qatar? They just don't give a fuck. They just spend on players. They bought Neymar and Mbappe in the same summer for 400 million together combined. They just recently got Lionel Messi. French league is completely torn apart. There's zero competition for PSG, yet they will continue to spend loads more on their players. So PSG are number 2 in my biggest sports washing projects. And at number 1, biggest sports washing project right now, it is Newcastle, the newest, latest member of the sports washing club. Newcastle, they are now owned by Saudi Arabia. You know, we've seen rich cities, Abu Dhabi own Man City. We've seen little countries like Qatar own PSG. But when you have a major country who has a private investment fund rumored to be worth around 500 billion pounds, it's crazy money, and now they're going to funnel it through Newcastle, and Newcastle going to be a big club. They're going to use the people of Newcastle who love football. They're going to use Newcastle to rid themselves of all their crimes and all the terrible image they have, all the journalists, all the human rights, all the workers, the activists. They're all going to be forgotten about because Saudi Arabia is going to be remembered for the great stuff they do with Newcastle. Now, buying Newcastle is quite smart, and I'm intrigued to see how they get away with all this, because the people of Newcastle love football and they love their team. They are working class people that work hard and they love their football. Now, Saudi will get instant love from them because they're going to improve the club. But will it be enough to rid Saudi Arabia of its crimes, or will it go up in flames like Chelsea?